Hello, men and women of the Trinity. It's so good to see you. It's been a while. I have been busy with school and homework, not to mention trying to keep up with the politics. There is a lot going on. I don't have to say that to anybody. I'm hoping, if you haven't guessed already, that there will be a turning point from this administration. Politics aside, this country needs a lot of work. It really does. It is an eye-rolling situation, which is angering a lot of Americans. Whether you are Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, it doesn't matter. There is a lot of confusion and anger going around. Politics aside, a little update and a little sharing of what has been going on and a generalization of how it relates to anybody at any time of their life at any in any given situation. There are moments when God has a mission for you and you have this understanding or a sliver of understanding of what he wants. However, with our limited understanding, we tend to give ourselves this aha moment of this aha behavior, which is beneficial. However, we're just seeing one part of that aha, seeing only the A. We're not seeing the A, H, A, exclamation point, exclamation point. Well, I bet that this kind of moment has entered the minds of many people, especially recently with a lot of the news and a lot of the common sense that has been increasing thanks to a lot of stupidity that has been going around. I don't have to mention anything more other than the complete Captain Obvious moment, though it's not always obvious to other people. Anyway, circling back to the point at hand, how can we discern if this sliver, this very small aha moment is the route where we end? Are we seeing the big picture of what God has planned? Or are we choosing to limit the understanding? Yes, I said choosing. Choosing to limit our sight and our understanding of what he wants. On a personal note, I want a lot from God. I would love to move to the Midwest. I'm currently in the West. I prefer to have a husband who is like St. Joseph, but of course, there's already a lot of expectations on men that it would be very unfair to expect him to be a saint when you first meet him. By the way, I'm going to go on a little side note here, or kind of take a leap of faith and say hello to my future husband. I'm trying to adopt this thing of doing something weird or crazy every single day, because that really challenges you. That's something that really scares you. Now, what scares me is trying to draw attention to myself in a romantic sense. However, if my husband can see this, my future husband can see this, if you are feeling called, we'll see what happens. But I'm saying hi to him either way, and I hope that we can meet eventually. Whether you are in Wisconsin or California, I'm currently in California. I hope I find a guy with common sense here. And if not, then he might be in Wisconsin. Who knows? I really don't know. But point is, when you have this limited understanding, you want to jump so badly. And when you ask for everything, and then everything is gradually given to you, I can get very impatient and I want it an instant, like an instant. It is like, let's do God's will right now. Right now. Get me in that car. Get me driving. Get me into that position where God is calling me. Have I finished school? Have I gotten enough credits to move to another college? Have I gotten enough income flowing to move to another state and be independent? Or am I social enough and open enough to meet that darn husband I'm looking for or hoping for? This is like, I'm not advertising myself, by the way. I'm just asking an authentic question. Is this the route that God wants me to focus on right now? Considering things have changed, and details aside, they have changed rapidly, and in a way that is beneficial, but not my preferred solution. I have a solution in my head that I would prefer, but it doesn't really connect with reason. You see, that's the journey there, is your faith in union with reason? Because there is a reason why we have a brain. We haven't been using our brains recently, I don't think. There have been people who have been noticing that they have brains and have been using them more often, or at least trying, and that is great. I am very glad to see that. And that includes like pivotal people in society, like well-known people. So God bless them for like thinking. God bless them, whatever they believe, whatever their mindset is. God bless them for looking for common sense. That, I think, is the journey of all of us for the whole United States right now, is in search of common sense. Look up Thomas Paine. Yeah, look up Thomas Paine. What did he leave behind? It was a book literally titled Common Sense. A little history for you, or a refresher if you don't remember this story, but in college, in history class, Thomas Paine wrote a document that was it was a pamphlet, 96 pages long, which everybody could read, opposing the monarchy, opposing Parliament, saying that why do we bother even trying to unite with the monarchy when they are across the sea? We are now a country of our own. We are populating this place. We can expand. We can find independence. And by God, we should strive for that. He was the fire, the motivator for the American people, the settlers in the 13 colonies, who were doubting or on the fence with patriotism and loyalists and neutral grounds. He was the motivator for everyone to get their act together and be liberated from the stupidity and the hypocrisy of the monarchy and Parliament. So his notion, his pamphlet, his philosophy is really what drove the American people, the American colonists, the American British colonists, to strive to create a country of their own. Albeit we made so many mistakes, we were not the perfect country to begin with. I'll give you that. There has been a lot of criticism on our founding fathers, understandably. However, we we do not understand that mindset. We are not in that mindset of back in the day in the 1800s and 1700s. It was very different. When they said freedom and liberty of all men, they meant men. They did not think of slaves becoming independent. They did not think of women who would become independent. They did not think of indigenous people would want to have rights as well. They said, it's for us, but you just stay where you are because it's been working out with the British law that you just stay in your positions. Well, Abigail Adams addressed this to her husband, John Adams, and said, honey, I see you're being a hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite. Like you said, you're encouraging liberty and independence and freedom of speech and freedom of voting. But what about us women? Women, they outnumber both the indigenous tribes and the blacks. They outnumber. They are half of the population. They are the other half of the population who have influenced the war, despite what you think, sweetheart. And we have put in our own labor, whether you remember that or not. We did go to the battlefield as followers to load those guns. Remember Nancy? I think her name was Nancy. Anyway, so there have been women who followed the men to war to serve them and help them, assist them. And they didn't feel like they were getting the credit they deserved, justifiably. Well, that wasn't the mindset back then. They were still in the British law mindset. And so it's understandable that men were like, just be quiet for a bit, like don't be so emotional. And Thomas Paine's influence of common sense really grew to become the Declaration of Independence. It was the motivating fire that drove us to find that Declaration of Independence. And everybody started using the Declaration of Independence justifiably. Justifiably. They had the right to, and they had a reason to, and they were using their brains. Imagine that. They were actually thinking, you know what? We don't want our country to be a hypocrite like the British. They kind of ruined things for themselves. We don't want to do the same. Look at us. There are more than just white men in this country. Yeah. So anyway, point is, Thomas Paine, a brilliant motivator, brilliant mind behind the Declaration of Independence, including John Locke, but that's another lesson in itself. I encourage you to look them both up. John Locke, L-O-K-E, and John Paine, P-A-I-N-E. There's an E at the end of Paine. There's an E at the end of Locke, just to verify that. And it's just a fact. I love our country so much. I just love our country. If I find a husband, I want him to be a patriot and a countryman, you know, like somebody who really shares the love for the country. And oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm saying that. Anyway, I think I better let you go. Use your reason and common sense to move your faith, because reason, I'll leave you with this. If you go back to unchaining God in your life, that means He is going to challenge not only your faith, but He is going to form your reason, your mindset, your intellect. He is going to address every bit of you. He's going to do everything inside of you if you just unchain Him. And simply say it, you know, Lord, I unchain you. I unchain you in my heart. I no longer limit you to my own understanding. I now give you access to everything that you want to happen. I'm going to let you go, but I hope this was insightful. I hope that the little history lesson was a reminder that we need common sense, like John Paine mentioned. Thomas Paine. Oh my gosh, Thomas Paine. It's Thomas Paine and John Locke. So look up Thomas Paine, look up John Locke. They were the influencers of the founding fathers and the people. Nobody even knew it was Thomas Paine who wrote the Common Sense pamphlet. And because that wasn't his point. He wasn't looking for attention. He was looking for motivation and movement in the country. He truly cared about the country. He didn't want credit. So, again, I'll let you go. I love all of you, men and women of the Trinity. Remember, the Trinity, not simply Christ. We're not stopping at one person of the Trinity because they are all one. They are all one, and they all want to cooperate as a family within you, as a spiritual family within you, and be unchained so that they can actually act. So that's my challenge for tonight. And again, cahoots to my future husband and whatever. I don't know what's going to happen. Whether you're in Wisconsin or you're in California, I'll see you around. And I just leave you with a big blessing. I love all of you. Oh my gosh. I just love Jesus, love God, love the Trinity.